See here, refresh if you need to. You'll have to let me know. Curious if I should do something like this with it instead. More of a fading upwards. It's up and running for you? Cool. Awesome. Thanks for the knowledge. I may need to try to do something on here to definitely gotta fix that guy there. That guy's way too thick. I'm thinking I need to take what I have right here right now and actually mess with it. Like, which I feel like this is gonna be a little bit of pain in the ass. Unless I do that, maybe I can pull that off. This. I need to duplicate this anyway. So what are you talking about? Volts. Where are you having lag with? Is this video game stuff? What is this? First person shooter issues, okay. So I need to take this. This, right? Oh. Okay. I think this may help. Thing is do we want like any black at all? I could just have it sitting more the horizon lines and keep everything here forward broken up. Part of me kind of wants there to be like something weird like this on these. Which means it'd be just too hard to just turn this on. Go to 5 and that 5 feels like a Still feel like I need to continue it out though further with the gray though. Are you the only one here? Someone else joined. Lurkers. Possibly. Seems you are. It happens. People have shit to do. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any idea for dialogue here? You can spitfire at me. The whole point of this is to do that with this, is to get a little bit of randomness from people. Probably it'd be better not to do this one and do a different, start a new page, but still. Let me try to get these all off and then make sure I eat at that, and then we'll pull it back and we'll look at it. Where are we at? Because what I have thus far is this person is saying, now which one is it? Is what we've got thus far. That is not set in stone. And it's also not. This is the first time we see this person, so there's no canon from any of the other pages that I've done. So let's just kill you. I don't like you. What's the plot? Oh god. Basically all we have right now in this is this page for this scene, this scenario right now. So that's all what we're dealing with, because this is basically a amalgam of different like short story things that kind of are going to potentially collide. The overall concept that's fuzzy in my brain right now is something along the line of something dealing with time travel, I think is what it was. Is that it was happening? Is that time travel has happened, or it has been invented, or whatever, and it's created a singularity world called Elsewhere Ever. Is it no not Elsewhere Ever? Elsewhere Ever? What is it? Where's the full thing? I always get it wrong. I haven't said it in a while. Is it else? Is it just elsewhere? God. Where you at? Let me pull it up on the web page here. So I have this. This is a weird thing, combination of elsewhere and then ever, I think. I think it's elsewhere ever. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but that just sounds wrong coming out of my mouth right now. Is it just that simple? Elsewhere ever. Yeah, just elsewhere ever. That's what it's called. Elsewhere ever. There's just a weird fuzzy idea that's out there. Because multiverse has been overused. I want to do something new. Because I think what this is supposed to be is my potential of writing a story that I want to write, potentially a little bit, where it could at least go that way, where you would have write a peaceful situation, a utopia or whatever kind of a situation, or the idea of that. Utopias can exist, but and it's basically these are events in time. No, time travel isn't messy. There's what makes time travel messy is if you contradict your time travel. Allow paradoxes. If it's if your time travel stuff has to do with a complete closed circuit, then it doesn't matter. There's no weirdness. Only when you add paradoxes can you have it get weird. But I think that there's something a little bit on that line, because it's still like a weird fucking clusterfuck work in progress, but it's not supposed to be serious or anything. The whole point of it is to, like I was kind of rambling earlier, just have something to do with the community, with a community, and just have it be random. Because here, let me show you. This is what we have thus far that I've done in the past, and I've just picked it up again. So, it's just a bunch of random shit. Because this, I'm trying to remember the whole weird thought that I was thinking that it would be possibly to explain what's going on. Because it's basically me trying to create a way that I could have all these weird stories, all these weird people, and all this stuff together, where you would have, yeah, a collection of stuff. Because multiverse is yeah, like I said, multiverse is kind of boring, but it kind of feels a little bit like it would sit in that feeling a little bit, though, still. But I would have to use something else, because I personally enjoy the idea of if you do the multiverse, it's just where you have your time, and then there's just a potential verse. There is only one universe, and then there's just potential, and potential just fills up all the inactive variable. Basically, everything happens in potential. Can happen in potential, but potential is creation at rest, and you basically are having what is actually creation is potential in motion, and that is what technically what we're experiencing. Thing is this would have to mean like all this stuff that's happening would have to be explained by worlds, not universes or multiverses, kind of an idea. But yeah, but that's here or there. How is it you observe the universe? How do I observe the universe? Oh, how do I personally see it? Well, that one that I was describing is probably the closest way that I see it, is the idea that it's that you have basically like the idea of dark matter is kind of one of the closest things to what I'm kind of talking about with potential. Basically, it's all of space of everything, the space that's between everything else, the emptiness of everything, the stuff that doesn't have anything in it, because atoms and everything is like mostly space. And that basically, the stuff isn't stuff is basically everything. It's potential. It's stuff that can become stuff. It's the instead of a theory of lack, it's a theory of abundance. So, which is not a common one that people enjoy, because right now people are really into the idea of lack. That is their current zeitgeist. That's why we have a lot of apocalyptic and zombie shit going on due to that mentality of lack. The idea of, surviving with nothing, which is very intriguing. The thing is I feel like I'd like to see someone be able to write something that is everything. And I think we've had this conversation before. About like trying to draw write a story that it's about that isn't about conflict. Thing is this one will be easier because it'll be talking about a place that is this way with people that are external to that event. So you would have still have the conflict, but then you would have a place that doesn't have it really completely, or there's a potential, or this emergence into that place. Like there's a potential that it could be that way, or this is the I don't know. It couldn't be. Yeah, the emergence would be the people coming into it. The thing is it's weird because the weird thing that I have with this idea with this is like when you have if and when potential time travel or something like that is invented, or whatever this thing is, that I'm thinking is. It may not be necessary time travel, but it may be something quite close to it. Whenever this event happens, there's like a weird thing where uh, everything comes together, like, and is unified in a key location, which is called elsewherever, is what it is. So there's this idea that there's a place or a space where all things, uh, all futures and pasts actually collect. Is, I guess, is what it kinds of, I think is what it comes down to. And yeah, that's what the story is about. Is the place, this, I guess, paradoxical causality kind of a thing, maybe in a way. I need to like think it through more, but this is just me just rambling about it. Because I'm pretty sure, like, in that book, or those first 2 pages of that link that I sent, what is it? I don't think that vampire person is in, like, really necessarily in this place. I'm thinking that person is probably outside of this place, in my mind. Possibly. But yet again, now my brain's thinking of some other things that I could deal with, and it could work. And she could be inside elsewherever. And then, what do we have here? And one of the things I wrote on there is that boy that jumps off the bridge, she's on the fringe of elsewherever. Which I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean 100%. So, but yeah, this is supposed to be like a retcon clusterfuck. Is kind of how this is supposed to be written and done. So, because like I said, it's supposed to be kind of pieced together by just people's, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Which I'm thinking I may jump onto another page here. Elemental of, let's see, the element of entropy. As you see it, the universe possesses an element of entropy. Okay, entropy value. Yeah, I would agree probably with that a little bit, as a, like, the entropy thing. But it would be like, what was it? Oh god. It's built into it. The entropy is what it is things becoming rest, or creation, or creation returning to potential, which is seems like it's chaotic, or weird or bad or death, but it's not. It's just, yeah, returning to potential energy or potential stuff, which eventually will, when the right circumstance happens again, it can turn into something else. But yeah, let's see here. So yeah, I think we're kind of good. I just need to draw that line at the bottom there. Panel 5. Build can take upon a state which appears as order. Yeah, and that's that because there's two, like, seems to be two different types of mentality. Either you're for creation, or you're for destruction or death, which is usually like the chaos kind of stuff in my head. Either you're in the Fibonacci, like, phi kind of side, or you're in the yeah, it means nothing, which it kind of leads also to the duality of, like, spiritualism slash atheism kind of mentality too, a little bit, which is makes sense. It's a weird little duality that's out there. I form more on the creation thing on stuff, because it's, yeah, to say everything is an accident is just really weird to me. Because we're one fucking cool accident if that's how that happens. Yep. Yep. It would make sense. If you're leaning towards that thought, then it's all your reasoning's going to support that. So it makes total sense. Which is, I think it's important to have people that actually side to that side. Because, yeah, it's basically optimism versus, or pessimism. I would assume that you're more of a pessimist. Would you consider yourself more of a pessimist than an optimist? Or do you contradict that? Or do you feel you contradict that? That you're everything else, because I would almost say the other stuff is possibly pessimistic, or which some people would call realistic sometimes too. Can be the same thing, which is interesting. That a lot of pessimistic stuff is kind of in that nowadays is defined as realistic. Bob Ross said there was happy accidents. Yeah. Consider myself a realist. Ah, yes, okay. Mean pessimist. Pessimist is the eyes of an optimist. What? But does that mean pessimist is the eyes of an optimist? What do you mean by that? That would be pessimistic for an optimist to say. Okay, they see, I consider myself a realist, but it doesn't mean that. No, it would me saying that being primarily optimist would make me a realist. Because that's the thing is that's the middle ground. I feel is where most optimists and pessimists actually agree, is where when we agree upon something is when we're realists. Where it's like, yeah, that's a realistic statement. I agree with that. Because it's the middle ground. Because it's not being negative completely. It's like, well, from what I know, because usually when you're stating that you're being realistic about something, it's like, well, I haven't been proven false otherwise. This is what I know. This is my truth, how I see it, and that's like I said, the middle ground. It's like, well, if you can prove me wrong, then I'll believe you. Is where that comes into. Pessimists would say, no, that could never happen. Glass half full. Yeah, and the thing is a lot of this stuff I tend to try to shy away from, like this kind of, what is it, polarization stuff a little bit. It's interesting, but because I would almost say that there's a glass, there's water, and then there's space. There's the air that's there, and then there's the stuff around it. So it's like, it's just, there's everything. There's stuff, and what the fuck is the glass sitting on? I think that's much more interesting than worrying about, like, yeah. In my head, it's just there's what is, and then there's all the stuff that is not, and I find both of those very interesting. But most of that, I don't know. I feel like the looking at everything makes it sound optimistic, to me, in my head, or I'm optimistic about, if I can say that word correct. Optimist. I don't think I can say it right anymore. I think I've killed it in my brain right now. Yeah. Positive. We'll say positive, because I can't say that word. Undoubtedly a cynic, though. Are you familiar with the old cynics? Like, were, not the what it's turned into. What the practice of a cynic was back in the day. The white dogs, or the pale dogs. I worked on a logo for potentially someone about using the name cynic, and did some research on the word. It's quite interesting. It means more than it's being used these days. Positive. Wow. Save. Alright. Everything is pointless. Okay. See, and that's not the old cynic. The originality of the cynic did not do that. They were they would use satire and that to actually make a point. It was not for pointless sake. It was to draw attention to stuff, to make a point by being pointless. They would they were like poverty-stricken people that stood on like corners and on a soapbox and preached negativity to bring awareness to shit. You see those traits in your actions? Yeah. Because usually, like, even though that some people can say that they're one or the other, anyone that's optimistic is always negative, and someone that is a negative person does have to have positive stuff. It's we have to be everything. Thing is just what how you steer the conversation, where your focus is on certain things and whatnot. Kind of it guides that stuff. Like if you're what model of thought you lean towards a little bit. Because it usually what that comes down to is which one makes you feel better, which one makes you feel safer, makes you more happy in the long run, which makes you not end your own life, I guess. Yeah, because that's basically what my comic book character is. He's a cynic in a lot of ways. In more ways than one. He's kind of weird how close he is to that stuff, and I was unaware of that. The whole school of thought of cynics. Because I would agree with that. You bringing up your point of view is bringing up, a point. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a mode. I think it's just it's one of the many different types of styles of personalities that's out there. It's I don't know. It just people that don't communicate in that line of thought are just it's hard for them to get along with those people. See, and I don't know where I completely sit in the whole spectrum, because I know I'm more on the positive side, is what I would say, but that's a little bit wrong, because I like the idea that I'm trying to be everything. So I want to be pessimistic and realistic and optimistic and everything else that's out there. I don't want to miss out. It makes me very scattered in thought due to that. Yeah. Yeah. People get triggered by what we say and how we say it. Because my, what is it? How I see how things work and whatnot is very fluid. It changes quite often. And what I was talking about is just the current model that I'm running. Current model that I'm dealing with, my viewpoint, which will constantly be changing, which I feel like is helpful. Triggered. Have you pulled out your PlayStation 4 of your boxes yet, Zoo? I thought that would be like the first thing that you would do. Okay, let's go ahead and save, and then we'll... Do I need that? Do a bird thing in the sky there? I think so. Should I just steal this one and shrink it? It'd be the easiest thing to do. Duplicate. Let's hope that that's okay size. I purposely disregard that thought. Yeah, because the thing that it goes into my stuff is the 100 monkey theory stuff, where by you trigger saying that people are being triggered by triggered by things. But what is it? The idea of there's the like global mind, or there's a couple weird things out there dealing with basically having a connective of thought or information. Either ideas, there's one that's like worldwide, or there's one that's like it's basically all of the universe or galaxies or multiverse or whatever, depending on whatever other rule set you're throwing into it. I think I would want him to be a different color though. If I did this. Which, what is it? There's Nassim Haramein. He's big on the idea of there being he suggests that all atoms are basically white black holes, which mean it goes two ways, and it's actually taking in information to a place, which he calls, I think, the vacuum, and then that information is condensed or interpreted by something, basically by creation, by everything, and then it is pushed back out again, and it's just this feedback loop of potential actually referring back to what is actually happening. Kind of a weird thing, which is kind of a weird, interesting thing. but I don't know if his model has the idea of where is that at? That's pretty close there. So no, it's gonna be it's gonna be like here. Same carbon atoms. Yeah. I'm not liking that top of that still. It's bugging me. Big question. What to you is soul? Very interesting question. Because the thing is some people actually define the spirit and soul two different things. I think currently what I lean towards would I be soul is what is the current? Oh damn it! Current. Current thing that is soul. Which one do I side with the most? So many different ideas of what it means. I think the best one that's at least the easiest one is just who I am without the idea of the body, I guess, whatever that is. The thing is how much does the body affect the soul? Would be the thing I would ask. Because if the body manipulates the soul more than the soul manipulates the body, then you wouldn't even be able to tell if you when you went to sleep and woke up the next morning that it was the same soul in the body. But why I would kind of lean towards saying no to that just is because I have a theory that the body is closer to like I hate using man-made examples, but like a TV or a radio, and is actually picking up my type of consciousness, which I would consider my soul, and then that is being expressed through this vehicle or this body. And if it were to ever exist elsewhere in the state that it is in, then my consciousness would be in that vessel as well, and potentially could be in multiple vessels. I do not know if they would be able to be aware of each other, though. Probably the closest thing that would probably be to that would be dreams, is where you maybe have merging or leaking or whatever. Bleeding. Bleeding is a better word. Does the soul exist with consciousness or vice versa? Yeah, that's a good one. That's where I think the idea of spirit kind of comes into play with some of that word, like where one is a marriage of the body and the soul is you get spirit or something like that. When a soul is actually being able to express itself with the information of a body creates that, or that definition could be inverted, where you're defining the other way around, where the spirit is the thing, and then the soul is the combination. So I should go to this. Okay, that's much better. Saved. But why? I've stopped everyone asking this question, why does God need to exist? Depends on what your definition of God is. Because my thing of is just there's creation exists, and that is what people call God. Or more correctly, the potential crap that I was talking about earlier. Both are the same thing, but one is in action and one is at rest. Which makes us good and makes everything else good, which is very common within most concepts of that. Because I feel like most religion basically is comes from not ignorance. It comes from learning. People find something that is scientifically that proves something that's similar to that, which goes into like Kabbalah and stuff, where they're learn the science of God, which our current science is slowly approaching that point where I think we'll find it again, and then we'll potentially maybe that'll have happen what this singularity event thing that I want to be in this have happen, but because when you understand how everything works, then that's what people call God. When you find out the answer, when you find the God particle, when you find the end all be all. And then from there, then, yeah. Then you basically, the whole idea is you're trying to live life in accordance to that system. After you know how the system works, the best way to live life or be righteous or lawful is to practice that thing. And then after time, that information is lost, degraded, and perverted, and then it becomes airy-fairy and has no power. Or very little. That's why doctrine doesn't work. Yeah, I think some of it is there's mantra that is in it that is possibly still potentially doing something. Because to a certain degree, but I don't feel that it's missing the mark. We're getting like the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, where it's like really understand what the hell it's talking about. They're just getting the take it for its word and not the allegory what it's representing. Okay, Because what is it? Genesis actually, there's a group that's within the does what is it? Kabbalah stuff a little bit, or they did. I'm not sure if they're still available, still together. But they deciphered Genesis and found the hypersphere in it, encoded in it. So, if a hypersphere is encoded in the and this is the Torah, not the Bible, which the Hebrew language is both mathematical and letter based, which is very cool. Both? How can you physically yet created but you unconsciously? You can't fathom what you don't know. It's both. It can be. Yeah, everything is always both, no matter the answer. Thing is what the question would be is what is more than the other ones, maybe. What is dominant or something on that line, maybe. I can fathom that which I want to know. Eventually, I would say you could fathom something which you want to know. But until you actually have that epiphany, it's still a little bit out of reach. Actually speak right now? Oh, try and condense? Oh. Is this like Tao shit that you're getting into, Alec? Because Tao shit is that paradoxal both thing, which it is hard to talk about because current thinking doesn't wants a direct statement. They don't know shit about? Yeah. Basically. They were interesting? Yeah. Theology is cool. Theology, philosophy, any school of thought is cool. Thing is just when you learn them all, I think they're much more interesting than when you just are told to believe in one. And then out from that information, you come to your own conclusion. Okay, can I actually progress here? Let's save. I guess I was saving these as JPEGs. I think there was a reason for that. I think probably because of me trying to upload it onto something. Let's here, save as. My thing with the whole alien thing is that it would be ignorant, I feel, of anyone to say that there wasn't life beyond Earth. I think that's just crazy to say that. How big the just what we say, everything else from out there is, would be ridiculous. We don't even know everything that's in the fucking ocean. And then there's like at the polar caps, both of them, there's new life that's being created every so often, it seems like. According to a couple of, I think it was mainly one in National Geographic, which I wish I could remember which one it was, but they're finding new species that were just appearing out of nowhere. Which is very interesting. A gigantic black pyramid found. What's up with that? That the world was covered with megalithic things at one point. That we're not like that. There's probably been a couple of big civilizations that have existed on the Earth. I think our history is not the way it is said to be. It's just the way we think it is, or we say it is, or whatever. Not necessarily energy. It could be other types of energy that it's trying to create. Because it could theoretically be a power plant for the body, where then a person doesn't have to eat food or sleep. Make somebody have longevity and weird shit like that possibility. There's a lot of weird theoretical stuff that could lead to. Or just different technology, for that matter. Just we went one way, and then there could be another civilization that found a different way. Because a lot of our technology is fucked because of money. We have a lot of lack of innovation due to the friction of monopoly. Well, what is it? People, I don't know how much stuff is conspiracy versus legitimacy, but there's supposedly pyramids there in the United States, like not just Mayan and Inca pyramids. There's supposedly that there's a temple that's in the Grand Canyon that was supposedly recently found. Who knows if that shit's real? The thing is that will be the really cool thing is if we can get to the point where we can actually have access to knowing if something is true or whatnot. Because if we can discern that, then a lot of the nonsense that would be about and around would be moot. Yeah, now the stream's like full on dying a bunch. I think I'm getting close to finishing up anyway. File. I just need to save this as a small. Let's do this. What is small though? I think we're just gonna take that other one here, yeah. Okay, this just should be saved, right? Let's just open the large one and then shrink it down. So then I can actually compare with these other ones. Existing? Yeah. And I know there's the whole, what is it, ley lines, a lot of them sit on the ley lines. So, it's all very interesting. Let's pull you out. There's a pyramid on top of that obelisk, though. What am I thinking here? What am I doing? What am I doing? Come on. You. Hmm. Okay. What's the difference between this and that then? It's definitely smaller. Huh. Oh. Okay. Save as. Have either of you heard of Frank Chester? You'd probably really like him, Foltz. I like Mike, enjoy him too. Think your more realist side would enjoy him, and then your artistic side would also enjoy him too. You have not? No. Yeah, I'd look into him. He's interesting. He discovered a geometric scaffolding around the heart. That's not what he discovered initially. He just discovered a seven-sided platonic form in a way, which it not completely platonic, but that's what he was trying to find, and then he discovered that, which his methods and stuff are lawful, which is an interesting. I haven't seen many things that are lawful. That is like the idea of being true, because that's the one thing that I've found that is true, or the only thing that I've ever found that is true, is geometry. Geometry is always what it is. If you have a cube or a hexahedron, no matter the size or how you contort it, as long as it's still a cube, the measurements, it's going to be the same. If you contort it, like, then it changes its structure and it's no longer that. But it will always be a cube. It'll always be whatever it is. It will hold the same space. It'll be the same thing, no matter what. No matter what. And a lot of people get geometry confused with like the mathematical geometry. I'm talking about like three-dimensional geometry here, like real geometry, not the weird two-dimensional geometry crap that they try to teach in school. Yes, you can always post your Instagram. Do it. But because I'm right now just wrapping up. I'm just making copies to post and whatnot. Thermodynamics is something which you are implying, where intro value of the universe comes from. Is thermodynamics based off of a geometry? We're not playing, we're drawing. Fuck off. Oh, it's what we're hyped for. I don't know. Nothing. Thermodynamics is energy. And I would say thermodynamics, from what I know of it, which is not too much, is just a theory. Which may be based off on some good what is it? Good, maybe experiments that point at proving it. Because that's usually how a lot of that stuff works. Is you have well, not even a model. You have a theory that then hopefully you can make a model that actually proves it. And still, even if you do have that model that proves it, it's until we actually have a unified field theory, it's still a little bit flimsy because it doesn't connect at all. We have gaps, like our the macro to micro of our science doesn't jive. They don't communicate with each other too well. Okay. Right. Cool. Yay, I have another one of these to post. It's been for fucking forever. Alright guys, well I'm gonna hop off, go eat something. There may be a very some chance that I come back and play video games, but I don't know. I have no idea. I may get into lazy mode and just veg out with Netflix. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate it. Love your conversation. It's always cool to talk about theoretical and I don't know, interesting concepts. What we think and how we feel about the world. Alright, let's see here. Let's move this on to the codec. Closing. We'll kill the music if we can. The philosophy and theories, yes, there we go. That's a good way to say it. Philosophies and theories. I like that. Good way to put it. Goodbye, Mr. Alec. I'll see you guys later.